Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're all on your own and you know what you know, and you are the guys who will decide where to go. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not so good street. Out there things can happen and frequently do to people as brainy and footsy as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along, you'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. And you will succeed, yes you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. You will move mountains, so be your name Penny or Lauren or Pim or Art, Jane, Dave, Donna or Emma or Dan. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way.
We have a glorious day and a sublime setting, especially for superlatives. My name is Roger Paget, and I have the high honor of being invited by my friends Jane and Art and Noah and Maddie to help celebrate this lovely occasion. These robes that I have been commanded to wear, by a little stretch of the imagination, may symbolize a crossing of the Atlantic and even a gathering of continents, because they originate in China, where literati in many ranks were categorized by the robes they wore. And Marco Polo and a few of his predecessors brought them back from China to Europe, and Roger of Sicily adopted them to his uses. And hence, here we are in American academia with these robes today. And that might be taken as a suggestion of how united we can be on this globe. As you may know, Jane and Art met in the old-fashioned way through the internet. The way Art explains it, he saw a woman calling herself Travel Mom and thought, wow, God, she's pretty awesome. And besides being so pretty, her core values were being a mom and traveling. He sent her a wink, sort of an internet flirt. But minutes later, he said to himself, that's not enough. So he sent her an email directly, and she responded. After a few more exchanges, they agreed to meet. Jane had a rule, though: first dates, coffee only, no longer than an hour. But we know ours. It expanded to dinner, and in the end, that first meeting was 7 hours in length. So here we are. We are tuning in, so to speak, on a universal validation, a wedding, to signify a unification, a gathering, a blending. Obviously, with time, their relationship thrived, and hence we're here today. Dave, would you step up, please? Cheryl.
Hi, I'm Dave Simpson, and I'm a friend of Art's back from the Duke days. And a few years ago, his family and mine, well, Jane and Noah and my family, were camping in Yellowstone, and Art and I stole away and had a chance in the pub to talk. And I could tell at that moment that this was going to happen. And he did describe to me how he felt, and this poem by Jody Beck does a nice job summarizing. Have you ever just met a person who made your head turn? Have you ever met a person who made your heart burn? Have you ever met a person that let you be you? Have you ever met a person that made you feel true? Have you ever met a person whom you did not want to tame? Because with her spirit, you are Tarzan, she's your Jane. Have you ever met a person that brightened your life? I've met such a person, and I want her as my wife.
Hi, I'm Gail Burns. I'm Art's sister. Come here today from Michigan for this joyous occasion. You know, when Art decided that he wanted Jane to be his wife and was going to make the question official, he, of course, wrote down every line of his proposal, probably in his journal. But with the assistance of Dave and Betty, Jane's parents, and of course Noah, on Christmas Day last, Art made his presentation to Jane. And it went like this. Because you have made me a better man. I didn't think it would be this emotional. Forward. Because you have made me a better man, because you have made me a father, because you live life with incredible relish, because you have values and you live up to them, because you would have made my parents happy, because you're the second best mother I know, because you put HP sauce on your breakfast, because you have a lovely body and let me play with it. Because we like each other's friends, because you strive to keep us healthy, because you love to travel, because you cried in Zimbabwe, because we make an incredible team, because I love your whole family and want to be part of it, because you can't say remunerate, because you're becoming a Duke fan, because I want to spend my life with you, and because you have suffered my losses and given me a new family. Because of these things, I'm asking, would you be my wife?
Hi. I'm Jane's mum, Betty. And I was there the day that Jane agreed to be Art's wife. Maybe in part for some of the reasons expressed in this poem by English poet Pam Ayres, called Yes, I'll Marry You, My Dear. Yes, I'll marry you, my dear, and here's the reason why. So I can kick you out of bed when baby starts to cry. And if we hear a knocking and it's creepy and it's late, I'll hand you the torch, you see, and you investigate. Yes, I'll marry you, my dear. You may not apprehend it, but when the tumble dryer goes, it's you that has to mend it. You have to face the neighbours should our Labrador attack him. And if a drunkard fondles me, it's you that has to whack him. Yes, I'll marry you. You're virile and you're lean. My house is like a pigsty, and you can keep it clean. That sexy little dinner which you serve by candlelight, as I do chipolatas, you can cook it every night. It's you who has to work the drill and put up curtain tracks, and when I've got PMT, it's you that gets the flack. I do see great advantages, but none of them for you. And so, before you see the light, I do.
Hi, my name is Sharon Brackelmans, and I also have known Art from Duke for 29 years. He was my teacher and then my friend, and I suppose he's still my teacher and definitely my friend. And he was at my house visiting a year ago or so, and I was so pleased to hear that he and Jane were going to be married, and I wrote this song to celebrate their love for each other. It's called We Are Two. You show me how to love you while I love myself too. Are stronger to remember longer what it was like back then. And what it's like today, and what it will be like when you look into my eyes and say, it's gray, the sky, you tell me. These rain clouds cry, they overwhelm me. But I say it's just passing weather. We can make it through together. Through the storm, day by day, just like I promised you when you heard me say I do, I will, I love you. Keep you warm. Look in my eyes, and you'll see that I still do.
A few weeks ago, Jim Holt published a new book, and its title was Why Does the World Exist? And he spends several hundred pages gathering together all the smartest minds trying to answer that question. After studying that book, I have the answer. I feel entirely confident relative to what I've just read in saying that the world exists to give unlimited license to the romantic imagination. A man by the name of Campbell once talked about finding one's bliss. And that seemed to my wife and to me a wonderful description of what happened to us. Campbell often referred to Schopenhauer, who was a great pessimist but who identified as the most distinguishing human characteristic the capacity for empathy, the capacity to put oneself in somebody else's shoes, and to know that somebody else could put herself or himself in your shoes. Weddings are one of the great milestones, obviously, of life. They are a time for remembering those who came before us and for connecting us to that universe of people, after all, who get married in many, many different ways. But one could almost say that it's programmed into us genetically as much as biology might resist that thought. Jane's mother is here to celebrate this wedding with us. Jane's father, Brian, and Art's parents, Art and Margaret, have passed away. In honor of them, we'd like to read a passage that Art's father wrote in his memoirs about meeting and marrying his wife. Lynn and Heather?
Hi, I'm Art's sister, Lynn, and I'm going to read this passage that my dad wrote. So these are my father's words. Now I'm going to tell you the story of how I met Marge. It was the luckiest day I ever had. We were all working at the Michigan Chandelier Company. During lunchtime, some of the guys came back and they were bragging about the pretty girl working at the candy counter at the 5 and 10 around the corner. Everybody that came in said the same thing, so I decided I would walk over there because I liked candy and I'd see what was going on. Well, she was just as pretty as they said she was. So our mom and dad dated for a while, and then he enlisted in the Air Force during World War II, and his story continues. Now I'm going to tell you the story of how I talked Marge into running away with me and getting married. We went down to the Union Depot, and we were going to see me off on a train. I was heading back to Atlantic City by myself. Well, Marge didn't have any parents, and I didn't have any parents, and when we got down to the depot, I said to Marge, "Geez, looks like we're all alone. Nobody really cares too much either way. Why don't we just take off and get married?" And she said, "Good idea," and we did it that way. And so my dad continued in his memoirs by saying, "Now I've told you everything that has happened to me over the past 50 years. And I'll tell you this, the marriage to Marge is the happiest thing that happened in my life. I've had many things happen to me, but that is the happiest. I'm looking forward to 50 more years of stories that I can tell you. And if after 50 more years I have to buy Marge a new wedding ring, I'll be glad to do that too."
Hi, my name's Heather. Heather, I'm a friend of Jane and Art's. Weddings are also a time for celebrating the circle of life. Madeline Margaret is named for her grandmother, Margaret Kohn, and Noah Bryan is named for his grandfather, Brian Clark. Children provide us with our link to the future. To celebrate our future, I'd like to ask that the children come forward to help us read this poem. So anyone that's a kid, I need your help. Two more, great. Come on up. Thank you, Sean. This is an extract from the book called I Love You Forever by Robert Munch. It talks about the love of a mother and a child. A mother held her new baby and very slowly rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she held him, she sang, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." The little boy grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was 10 years old, and he never wanted to come in for dinner. He never wanted to take a bath. And when Grandma visited, he always said bad words. Sometimes his mother wanted to sell him to the zoo. But at nighttime, when he was asleep, the mother quietly opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of his bed. If he was really asleep, she picked up that 9-year-old boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. Well, the boy grew. He grew and grew and he grew. He grew until he was a teenager. He had strange friends and he wore strange clothes and he listened to strange music. Sometimes the mother felt like she was in a zoo. But at nighttime, when that teenager was asleep, the mother opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of his bed. If he was really asleep, she picked up that great big boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. Well, that mother, she got older. She got older and older and older. One day, she called up her son and said, you better come see me because I'm very old and sick. So her son came to her. When he came in the door, she tried to sing the song, and she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. But she couldn't finish because she was too old and sick. The son went to his mother. He picked her up and he rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he sang the song, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as you're living, my mommy you'll be.
Thank you, kids. Did this yesterday, but it's not working. There we are. That's it. Hi, I'm Jane's stepfather, Dave. The theatre's always been an important part of Jane and Art's life together. And the first weekend they had away was actually at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in Ashland. And they went there virtually every year after that. In fact, Madeline was conceived there exactly a year ago. So she's a Shakespeare baby. They wanted to incorporate a little bit of Shakespeare into the wedding ceremony. So they chose this famous love sonnet, which is number 116. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is not shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved.
Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, nor bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempest and Michigan. It is the start to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although its height be taken. Love's not time's full, the rosy lips and cheeks. In its bended sickle compass comes. Love alters not with its brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never it nor no man ever loved.
Noah, Cheryl, and Linda, would you come forward, please, for the reading of the vows?
Here we go. We're here. You step back a little bit. There we go. Hello.
Jane and Art, the vows which you are about to exchange serve as a verbal representation of the love you pledge to each other. For it is not the words that you speak today which will bond you together as one, but it is that inner sense of love and commitment that each of you feels within your soul. On this day, may you pledge to each other to be loving friends and partners in marriage, to talk and to listen, to trust and appreciate one another, to respect and cherish each other's uniqueness, and to support, comfort, and strengthen each other through life's joys and sorrows. May you promise to share your hopes, thoughts, and dreams as you build a life together. May you always be honest and open with each other. May your home be forever filled with faith, peace, happiness, and love. Art and Jane, please face each other and hold hands. Art, do you take Jane to be your lawful wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, forsaking all others until death do you part?
I do.
Jane, do you take Art to be your lawful wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, forsaking all others, until death do you part?
I do.
The wedding ring is the outward and visible sign of an inward and spiritual bond. The circles are just like love. There is no beginning and no end. You give each other these rings as a sign of your love, trust, respect, faithfulness, and devotion. May these rings ever serve as a reminder of the vows you take here today. Art, repeat after me. Jane, I give you this ring as a sign of my love and affection.
Jane, I give you this ring as a sign of my love and affection. Oh my.
Jane, repeat after me. Art, I give you this ring as a sign of my love and devotion.
Art, I give you this ring as a sign of my love and devotion. Can't get on.
Art, will you repeat after me? All that I am and all that I have,
All that I am and all that I have,
I offer to you, Jane, in love and in joy.
I offer to you, Jane, in love and in joy.
I take you, Jane, to be my wife.
I take you, Jane, to be my wife.
From this day forward, I will be your husband and best friend.
From this day forward, I will be your husband and best friend.
I will love and comfort you,
I will love and comfort you,
hold you close,
hold you close,
prize you above all others,
prize you above all others,
and remain faithful to you all the days of our lives.
and remain faithful to you all the days of our lives.
And Jane, all that I am and all that I have,
All that I am and all that I have,
I offer to you, Art,
I offer to you, Art,
in love and in joy.
in love and in joy.
I take you, Art,
I take you, Art,
to be my husband.
to be my husband.
From this day forward, I will be your wife
From this day forward, I will be your wife
and best friend.
and best friend.
I will love and comfort you,
I will love and comfort you,
hold you close,
hold you close,
prize you above all others,
prize you above all others,
and remain faithful to you
and remain faithful to you
all the days of our lives.
all the days of our lives.
Jane and Art, now that you have joined yourselves in holy matrimony, may you always draw upon the faith, courage, and love of each other to assist you in fulfilling the commitment you have made today. Now that you have pledged yourselves to each other in the presence of your family and friends, and having declared the same by giving and receiving of rings, by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may embrace.
That's good. Wow.
Only took 6 years.
Before we conclude, Jane and Art have a few announcements. Immediately after the ceremony, we are going to take a group photograph, and we'd like everyone to join us at the other end of the garden. After the photos, we shall reset this area. I encourage you to gather in front of the house over there. And while you are there, we invite you to leave a note for Jane and Art by signing one of the picture frames that are located there. We shall be serving punch and appetizers starting at 2 o'clock. Our bar and dinner buffet will start at 3:30. In the meantime, if you'd like a drink, you can go to any of the pubs on the property and bring the drink back here. Would the congregation please stand for a blessing? You will feel no rain, for each of you will be shelter for each other. You will feel no cold, for each of you will be the other's warmth. Go now to your dwelling place to enter into the days of your life together, and may your days be good and long upon the earth. Treat yourselves and each other with respect, and remind yourselves often of what brought you together. Give the highest priority to the tenderness, gentleness, and kindness that your connection deserves. When frustration, difficulty, and fear assail your relationship, as they threaten all relationships at one time or another, remember to focus on what is right between you. You can ride out the storms when clouds hide the face of the sun in your lives, remembering that even if you lose sight for a moment, the sun is still there. And if each of you takes responsibility for the quality of your life together, it will be marked by abundance and delight. The immediate family, please, should stay here as we conclude for photograph I've been asked by the photographer. Thank you all.